What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So one of the coolest new features in iOS 16 is the ability to fully customize the lock screen. iPhone users have never really had this before. The lock screen has pretty much looked the same for quite some time, but now we can change up everything from the fonts to the widgets, add custom image effects and animations. There's so many great new options here to really make the lock screen your own. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all the new customization options you can use in order to get that perfect lock screen look. There's quite a few little hidden options and tweaks that Apple didn't mention, but first things first, just know that this custom lock screen setup is only available on the new iOS 16 update. So if you haven't updated your device already, be sure to go into your settings and find the iOS 16 update and install it. It's available now for a vast majority of iOS devices, but if you have an older device like the iPhone 6S or iPhone 7, sorry, you won't be getting iOS 16, unfortunately. Now, in order to bring up all the lock screen customization options, all you have to do is first just tap and hold on your current wallpaper from the lock screen itself, and this will bring up a whole new screen with a few different items. Since we haven't yet created any new wallpapers or customized anything, the first and only option you'll see here is to add a new wallpaper. So you can tap any one of the plus icons to get started. This will bring up a new page with a ton of different options. The first icon in the top left corner is your familiar photo selection option, where you can just choose a picture from your camera roll or saved image from your albums and use it as your wallpaper. Most people should be familiar with that. The second option, Photo Shuffle, allows you to select multiple different images as your wallpaper, and depending on how you set it up, your wallpaper will automatically change from image to image. And I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. There's also a new emoji-themed wallpaper option, preset weather, and astronomy wallpapers. Again, we'll go more in depth with those options in a bit. Beneath that, the second row there, Featured, shows some more pre-made wallpapers with various themes and widgets and backgrounds that Apple offers you as their own, but these can also be customized in a number of different ways as well. You have some suggested photos from your camera roll, more pre-made options from Apple that you can choose from, and each of ththese Apple-made wallpapers have additional looks and options and things you can swipe through as well. But let's start from scratch here, and I'll show you everything you can do. So to start, I'm going to choose an image from my camera roll here, and when it's loaded up, you can take two fingers to move it around on screen and pinch in and out to adjust its size. Now you'll notice that this image happens to also give you a new effect where the clock text is sort of behind an object in the picture. This is what Apple calls the depth effect, and you can enable or disable it by tapping on the three little dots on the bottom right corner there. Now, if you specifically want this depth effect on your wallpaper, you're going to have to play around with it a bit. It's a little finicky, and if too much of the object is covering the time, the effect is turned off automatically, which you can see. Also, not every single image you use will have this effect. You need to choose something with a very obvious difference between the subject and the background, and even still, sometimes it just doesn't work. So play around with it, try some different pictures maybe. It's cool when it works, but it's a little tricky to get right sometimes. Apple also offers some, filters or color profiles for the image. Swiping left or right will show you those, and you have things like black and white, duotone, color wash, for this image at least, but if you use one of Apple's pre-made wallpapers like these ones, there's even more color options and filters and different looks entirely, like with the weather and astronomy presets. You can also now customize the font type and font color for the clock, widgets, and other lock screen text. To do this, just tap on the time, and this will bring up the 8 different fonts you can choose from. Beneath that, there's the text color option, and this will change the text color for all lock screen text. The date, the time, any widgets you have, which I'll show you in a second. You can swipe through the preset colors, bring up the color grid, the color spectrum, the color sliders, even paste in a hex color code. You can have precise of text color as you want. And if you wanted to perfectly match your lock screen image, you can also use the eyedropper tool to sample an exact color from your lock screen image, which is pretty cool. Beyond custom colors and fonts, you can also change up what widgets and information are displayed on the lock screen. So first, if you tap on the top line of text, the day and date, this brings up your sort of first widgets panel, where you can swap that information out for any number of other things. Calendar events, weather specifics, stocks, and more. But keep in mind that this widget area is relatively limited to basic text only and can't get any larger or more complex. Beneath the time is your second widget area, and adding a widget here gives you a lot more information from various Apple and third-party apps. Though the first thing I want to mention mention is that if you do utilize this bigger widget area, the depth effect for any image you have will be disabled automatically. The widget area, or grid, I guess, for this is 1x4, and each app or widget option usually has a different size widget you can choose to fit that grid. There's 1x1 widgets, which show usually an icon or basic info, and 1x2 widgets that display a little more. And as you're editing your widgets, be sure to tap on any ones you have. This sometimes brings up even more options that pertain to what specific information is shown via that widget. So like which device is shown via the battery widget, for example, or which calendar displays appointments and events if you have more than one. You can also rearrange your widgets a little bit, but it seems like if you have a 1x2 widget, the larger one, that one has to be your first widget, and you can't have it like sandwiched between two different 1x1 widgets. When you're all done customizing, in order to set your new wallpaper, just tap the Add button in the top right corner. You can then set the lock screen and home screen, or go one step further and actually customize the home screen as well. And this opens up even more options. So from here, you can set your home screen to have a different background entirely, whether it's a new picture from your camera roll or a custom color or gradient, or you can have your lock screen wallpaper just blurred for your home screen. Whatever you choose, when you're finally done, that new custom wallpaper and lock screen and all your widgets and fonts will be saved in this lock screen picker panel. And you can then set it for your lock screen and home screen, or customize it further if you'd like. Now, some of the pre-made wallpapers that Apple offers here are also pretty cool, and they each have some unique features. For example, the weather wallpaper will change based on the forecast in your location. The astronomy wallpapers will show you the phase of the moon, location of the planets, and they each have a new unlock animation that's kind of cool as well. The color option allows you to create custom colored wallpapers with different fades and tones and filters and things, and there's also this new emoji wallpaper maker that allows you to pick up to 6 emojis that automatically get placed on screen. And you can swipe through the different patterns, I guess you could call them, or ways in which the emojis are displayed. This wallpaper option is interesting to say the least, but maybe there's some potential to make it cool. You can also change the background color here by tapping on the 3 little dots in the bottom right corner. So when you've made a few different custom wallpapers and lock screen setups like I have here, they're all going to be shown on this picker page that you can swipe through, and with all these different options, there's now a few more things you can do with them all. First, at the bottom of each of your new custom lock screen layouts, you'll see focus. Tapping on that allows you to actually link a lock screen layout to one of your focus modes if you use them. So for example, you can have a simple widget-free lock screen for do not disturb, or show specific health information for a workout focus mode, or work-related widgets on work focus mode. So not only will the lock screen sort of tell you what focus mode you're in, you can also customize each lock screen layout with specific information and tailor it to the different focus modes you use. I also mentioned earlier that you now have the option to have multiple wallpapers that change out automatically. This is different from focus mode. It's not the lock screen itself with the widgets and things that change, just the wallpaper image itself. And to do that, head on into Photo Shuffle, and you can either let your iPhone show you some suggested photos or pick your own from your camera roll or photo albums. Select the images you'd like and then tap Add. You can swipe through and give each image a filter if you'd like, but the important option is in the bottom right corner again. Tap on those 3 little dots, and from here you can set how often you want your wallpaper image to change. Every day, every hour, every time you unlock the phone, or when you tap on the image on your lock screen. And this is pretty awesome. You can have a new wallpaper essentially automatically whenever you'd like. There's one last lock screen related item I want to mention. With iOS 16, Apple finally brought back album artwork on the lock screen when you're playing music. And it doesn't matter if it's Apple Music specifically or Spotify or anything else. When music is playing, you'll not only have the playback controls now, but the full album artwork is shown right there on the lock screen. You can tap on the album artwork to hide it and show all your other widgets and things on the lock screen, and then tap on it again to bring it back up. And tapping on the actual music playback area will bring you into Spotify or whatever app is playing the music. And this is just a small but very much appreciated little lock screen add-on that I know some people will enjoy enjoy having again. So there you go, that's pretty much everything you need to know about custom lock screens on the new iOS 16 software update. I'm pretty pleased with what Apple offered here. There's plenty of customization options to choose from, a lot of potential to make a really unique lock screen and wallpaper setup. But what do you guys think? Will you be creating some custom lock screens to use? Let me know in the comments down below or tweet me your lock screen. I'd love to check it out. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, or at least found it somewhat helpful. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.